Hello. In this video we're going to talk about the K-12 grade templates for the Philippines. These are templates that have been created to make the grade calculations more automatic for the teachers. Your IT teacher has stored these templates somewhere in Teacher Shared, and you can ask your IT teacher where they are stored. The name of the template file that we're going to talk about first is called K-12 Grade Template version 1. I'm going to open that template. Now the very first thing you should do is save this grade template to your own My Documents file before you make any changes. So we'll go to File, Save As, and we will store it in our documents. And I suggest that you give it a meaningful name. So I'm going to call mine I'll put the name up here, Quarter 4 2015 Math. And I click Save. Now these templates are the .xls format, or Excel. So LibreOffice will ask, are you sure you want to use Excel? And we'll say yes, please use Microsoft Excel. So now we have a copy of the template in our own documents. First of all, I want to show you the notes that we have as a part of this template. And that's a tab or a worksheet called Read Me First. And let me click on that. And this is a place where you can review how to use these templates. So if you forget how to do something, you can go to Read Me First. And it tells you the very first thing you want to do is copy and paste the students' names into your template, and then you will enter the grade information. Let's go back to the template now. It's in Grades. And if we go to the very top, we'll see some text in red. And these are values that are set by DepEd, and they describe the percent of the score, the total score that is provided by each of the 4 areas: knowledge, process, understanding, and performance. And the proportions are shown over here, and they should always add up to 1 or 100%. If you change these values due to DepEd direction, you can type them in here in one place, and they will be spread throughout the entire grade template. So you only need to change them in one place. Similarly, the letter scores, there are the cutoff points for each letter score and the description, and you can also change those, and those will spread throughout the entire worksheet. The next thing you will want to do is edit the information at the top of the grade sheet. So here in row 21, you can type the name of your school. So if you are Labagon, you can type in that, and then you can put in the municipality information. Next, the subject area, and we said this is math, so we will type in math. And then the school year. And you can also change the grade and section. Now, this worksheet has many grade sheets for your different sections. So if we scroll down, first we'll see the boys for this grade and section, and then the girls, and you'll notice that what I typed above got repeated here. So there's a formula here, so you only have to enter it in one place here, right up at the top. But for the grade and section, though, you'll need to enter it for every 2 sections for the boys and girls. So we're going to call this 7th grade. And so on. But you only have to do it for every other section. And you can go on down. So this sheet is structured to have many sections. So hopefully it will cover your entire teaching load with one worksheet. I already have names here in this worksheet as examples. So what you would do for your own section is to copy and paste, first of all, the last names here in column B, and then the first names here in column C. And I always encourage teachers to use copy and paste. Hopefully you should only have to type this information once at the beginning of the school year and paste it everywhere else you need it throughout the school year. To use these sheets, though, you will need to encode the last name in one column and the first name in a separate column in the second column. So I'm going to use these example names to show you now how to use this sheet. Once we have the names encoded, we can begin encoding the grades. So over here to the right, we have detailed grade information for each of the 4 areas: knowledge, process, understanding, and performance. So this gives us a place to encode our daily grades. So let's say that we have a quiz that relates to knowledge, and that quiz has 9 points. So we will come over here in this blue column and we will encode the perfect score for that activity, and you can see here it tells you what to do: encode perfect score for the activity. So we're going to encode 9. You notice when I do that it totals that over here, and now we can begin to encode the scores for our students. So we can just begin to encode the scores for that quiz. Now you'll notice as you start encoding that information is already being captured over here. We see up here in row 30 the perfect score, 9, and then we see the individual scores, total scores for the students, and the total grade, which is the number of points for that student divided by the perfect score. And so just as an example, let's add another activity here. Let's add a second quiz. And let's just encode some scores here. And we can see that total up here is now updated to 21, and the total score for the students is automatically transferred from this column over here, and the total grade is calculated, which is their points divided by the perfect score. And you'll further notice that this total grade here is being transferred over here to the percentage of total points that it adds to the student's score. And since knowledge is 15% of the total, we take this 52 times 15% and it automatically puts the score here. So you can see that it automatically combines these things for you. So all you need to do is encode the perfect scores and the student scores for each activity. So you need to do this for knowledge, process, understanding and performance. So let's say that we have an activity that has 80 points for process. So let's go ahead and encode some scores here, just as we did before. And let's go ahead and encode some scores over here under understanding. So I'm just adding these so we can see how this begins to combine into the students' total scores. And then finally over here under performance. So I'm just going to fill that out quickly so we can see what happens. So now what we have for each of these is transferring this detailed grade information that we've entered throughout the grading period being transferred over here to the scores, and now we can see how it begins to combine together. We have the 4 different areas, both the students' raw scores and their mean percentage scores here, multiplied by the contribution of each of those 4 areas encoded automatically here, and a total score here. And it will automatically then assign a letter based upon the score here. So we can see that this student has an 85.92, which makes them fall into the proficient category. And here we have a student that has 89.58, and so they fall into the advanced category. Now, sometimes a teacher may want to adjust the grade for various reasons, and so a teacher can do that. So for example, suppose this student maybe had some extracurricular activities or something that should give them a somewhat better score. So suppose we want to change that 85.92 to a 92. So we can simply encode 92 here, and it will change the letter grade. So if the column that is labeled adjusted grade is blank, it will use the score here, but if you encode something here, it will use that instead. So it will use either this or this, but if this is blank, it will use the total. So suppose we have a student that we think did not do as well as their grade indicated, we can encode also a lower score, here, and it will change the score. So that is how the grading works. Now, for boys and for girls, there is space for 45 students. Now, in many cases, you won't have that many boys or girls in your section. What you can do is leave the names blank. So I'm going to highlight 31 through 45 if I only have 30 students, and I'm going to hit delete. And when I do that, the worksheet is set up with conditional formatting, so it will show blanks here. Even though the formulas are not erased, it changes the font so it's not seen. So if you add a new student though, it will go ahead and make the formulas visible. So this is showing males here and similarly females here, and it works exactly the same way for females. And on down the line for each of the different sections, it's showing the boys and the girls. So remember, all you have to do here is to encode in one place this information up here about the school, municipality, subject, and school year. And then it will go all the way down. We can see we can have many, many, many sections here for you. And we need to encode the grade and section every other place for the boys and for the girls. Now you will need to encode the perfect scores for boys and girls, but I would recommend you could simply use copy and paste if you wanted to for the same section. So that is a quick discussion of the K-12 grade templates. This is a very powerful template. It has many, many formulas in it to make it automatic, but that also means that you need to be very careful when you make any changes to this template. This template is set up that almost all of the formula cells are locked. And you'll see when I click on a cell with the formula, it says formula here, do not change. And further, this spreadsheet has protected cells. That is, you cannot change these. And it is password protected. If you do need to make changes to the template, please see your IT teacher and they can help you, or you can contact Reneal to ask for changes. If you do unlock this, please be careful. Please be especially careful when deleting or adding cells, because the formulas must be correct in order to get the proper results. When you're finished encoding your grade information, you will probably want to print your grade sheets for each of the sections that you have. To do that, we can go up to View and we can look at the page break preview, and you'll see that page breaks have already been included in here to print out the boys and the girls separately for each section, for all of the sections in this worksheet. And I would suggest that you do this one at a time just to make sure that everything is correct. And if you want to go back to the regular view, you can just go up to View and back to normal. You can also save this file on a flash drive and take it home and use it with Microsoft Excel. Right now it's open in LibreOffice Calc. It's saved as a .xls file though, so you can use it either in LibreOffice at school or with Excel at home. So I want to end with a short review. Up here at the top we have some things that are set by the Department of Education that normally should not be changed. This is the different percentages that are for knowledge, process, understanding, and performance, as well as the criteria for each of the letter grades and the description of the letter grades. Next, you'll see up here the different information for your high school, your municipality, your subject, and your school year. If you enter that here for the very first instance of it in the file, it will be copied automatically through all of the other grade sheets in this worksheet. Then you will need to change the grade and section for each of these, and if you do it just for the boys, it will automatically show up for the girls spreadsheet, which follows. The next thing you'll need to do is paste in the student names, and you'll paste the family name in column B and the first name in column C. Then you can begin to encode the grades over here. and you have a place to enter the detailed grades for knowledge, process, understanding, and performance. And for each of those, you always encode the perfect score for that activity up here where it's the light blue color, and then you encode the student's raw scores here. And all of that information gets transferred automatically over here. It's managed by all of these formulas, and it will calculate the total grade and the letter grade for you. If you want to change the numeric grade for a student, you can simply encode it here under adjusted grade, and it will update the letter grade for you. And if you decide you don't want to adjust the grade, you can click and delete that, and it will use what's in the total. So that is the grade template, and that's the grade template for most of the subjects. Now MAPE is a little different. There's a special grade template for MAPE since it is separated into 4 different areas: music, art, PE, and health. There's another video that talks about using the MAPE grade template. It's very similar to this, but it also has a final worksheet that calculates an overall MAPE average. And look for the other video for that if you are a MAPE teacher. We always welcome suggestions at Reneal IEO to make these tools better. You can contact us through our website at www.reneal.org. And thank you very much for listening. We wish you great success using these, and we hope these templates save you a lot of time. Thank you.